Hi, my name is Christy. In this video, we're going to cover how to correctly and efficiently assemble your new AltraFlame TV console. Before you start, make sure the following steps and precautions have been taken to ensure a safe and efficient process. Make sure each step is performed in the correct order. If these steps are not followed in the proper sequence, assembly issues may occur. Make sure your work area is spacious and clutter-free. It's also a good idea to assemble the TV stand near the area where you intend to put it. As recommended, I will be using a second person to help me lift heavier items throughout the assembly process. Please follow along in your instruction manual and pause the video as needed, or if there is a step you'd like to skip to, feel free to fast forward to the appropriate step. Now let's get started. Throughout the assembly, you will need the following tools: a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and a basic hammer. Do not use power tools for this assembly. To begin, carefully remove all the components from the box and lay them on the floor with the label facing up for quicker identification. Step 1. Locate top panel A, bottom panel B, rails I and J, and stopper P, along with 14 cam bolts and 8 wood dowels. Using your Phillips screwdriver, start by screwing 6 cam bolts into the provided screw holes in top panel A. Next, screw 4 cam bolts into the 4 provided screw holes in bottom panel B. Using your hammer, lightly tap in 4 wood dowels into the sides of bottom panel B. Then lightly tap 2 wood dowels into rail J. Lightly tap 2 wood dowels into the outside holes of stopper P. Lastly, screw 4 cam bolts into rail I. Once completed, safely set those to the side for a later step. Step 2. Locate fixed shelf C, partition L, and both rails H, along with the 13 cam bolts and 11 wood dowels. Using your Phillips screwdriver, screw 7 cam bolts into the provided holes into the bottom side of fixed shelf C. Once completed, flip over shelf C and screw 2 more cam bolts into the top of fixed shelf C. Next, with your hammer, lightly tap in 7 wood dowels into the appropriate holes along the edge of fixed shelf C. Next, screw 2 cam bolts into the provided screw holes in both rails H. Take the remaining 4 wood dowels and lightly tap them into the appropriate holes on the sides of partition L. Step 3. Locate left side panel D, right side panel E, both partitions F, and rail G, along with 8 cam locks and 18 wood dowels. Using your Phillips screwdriver, screw 4 cam bolts into the provided holes in left side panel D and 4 cam bolts into the provided holes in right side panel E. Then, using your hammer, lightly tap 2 wood dowels into the top of left side panel D and 2 wood dowels into the top of right side panel E. Next, lightly tap 2 wood dowels into the side of rail G. Lastly, tap 6 wood dowels into the provided holes along the sides of both partitions F. Step 4. Locate top panel A, fixed shelf C, rails I and J from step 1, along with 4 25mm screws and 4 cam locks. Align the 2 wood dowels in rail J with the provided holes in panel A. Carefully insert the wood dowels into the provided holes in top panel A. Using your Phillips screwdriver, tightly screw 4 25mm screws through the pre-drilled holes located in rail J into the provided pilot holes in top panel A. Next, insert 4 cam locks into the provided holes on fixed shelf C with the arrow on the cam lock pointing towards the nearest edge. Next, take rail I with previously installed cam bolts and carefully insert into the side of fixed shelf C with cam locks. Before moving on, make sure all cam locks are tight and locked. Step 5. Locate rail G and both rails H, fixed shelf C, both partitions F, and 6 cam locks. First, insert 2 cam locks into rail G with arrow on cam lock pointing towards nearest edge. Then align the 2 cam bolts in fixed shelf C with the provided holes in rail G. Carefully insert both the cam locks into rail G and the wood dowels into fixed shelf C, locking cam locks tight. Next, insert 2 cam locks into both partitions F with arrow on cam lock pointing towards the nearest edge. Then, place rail H with previously installed cam bolts into provided holes with cam locks located on partitions F. Before moving on, make sure all cam locks are tight and locked. Step 6. Locate completed fixed shelf C and both partitions F as well as 4 cam locks. First, insert 2 cam locks into the top edges of both partitions F. Next, attach both partitions F to the bottom of fixed shelf C by making sure all wood dowels and cam locks line up with pre-drilled holes and cam bolts. Tighten all 4 cam locks. Note, to ensure the fireplace fits properly, make sure rails H are turned towards the center of the unit. Also be sure the unit is lying on the back side with detailed edge facing up. Step 7. Locate bottom panel B, both feet Q, and 4 cam locks. First, install the 4 cam locks into the bottom of both partitions F. Next, install bottom panel B onto both partitions F by making sure wood dowels and cam locks line up with pre-drilled holes and cam bolts. Tighten all 4 cam locks. Last, screw both foot pieces, Q, into the provided screw holes on the bottom of bottom panel B. Step 8. Locate left side panel D and right side panel E, as well as 8 cam locks. Insert 2 cam locks into the bottom of fixed shelf C and bottom of bottom shelf B. Then, attach left side panel D by making sure wood dowels and cam locks line up with pre-drilled holes and cam bolts. Repeat these steps for right side panel E, making sure all cam locks are tight and locked on both sides. Step 9. Locate top panel A, partition L, and 8 cam locks. Note, you will need another person to help you lift the unit upright onto its feet. First, insert 4 cam locks into partition L, then install partition L by aligning the 2 cam bolts and 2 wood dowels into the appropriate holes located on fixed shelf C. Lock and tighten the 2 bottom cam locks on partition L. Note, make sure the finished edge of partition L is facing forward. Next, insert 2 cam locks into the top of left side panel D and 2 cam locks into the top of right side panel E. Using 2 people, carefully place top panel A onto side panels D, E, and partition L by making sure wood dowels and cam locks line up with pre-drilled holes and cam bolts. Before moving on to the next step, be sure all 8 cam locks are secure. Step 10. Using 2 people, lay the unit down on its front. Starting with upper back panel O, screw down the top corners first using the pre-drilled pilot holes as guides. Continue installing screws until there are 14 screws evenly placed on upper back panel O. Next, attach back panel N to left back side. Screw both top corners in first, then continue around until there are 11 screws evenly placed around back panel N. Repeat on right side. Step 11. Locate both adjustable shelves, K, and 8 shelf support pieces. Insert the smaller end of each shelf support piece into the appropriate holes located in the side sections. Then, rest the shelf into shelf supports. Repeat these steps for the opposite side. Locate both doors M, 4 door hinges, 4 22mm bolts, 24 14mm screws, 2 knobs. Using your Phillips screwdriver and 14mm screws, attach all door hinges into the provided holes located on door M. Next, screw the door hinges into both right side panel E and left side panel D, using provided holes for top and bottom hinges. Next, screw in knob by inserting 2 bolts through provided holes in back side of door M and tighten. Repeat for opposite door. Step 12. To adjust doors, use the Phillips screwdriver to turn adjustment screws to fix the vertical, horizontal, and depth. Step 13. Locate the AltraFlame Electric Fireplace and the 6 14mm screws. Insert fireplace through back of TV console and screw 3 14mm screws on each side of the fireplace into the provided pilot holes in both rails H. Step 14. Locate stopper P, 2 angle brackets, 1 cam lock, and 2 14mm screws. Insert 1 cam lock into stopper P and attach to bottom of fixed shelf C by making sure wood dowels and cam bolts align correctly. Lock and tighten cam lock. Using Phillips screwdriver, screw left angle bracket with 14mm screw into hole provided on bottom panel B behind fireplace. Repeat with right angle bracket. Make sure both brackets are tight in place. Step 15. Locate rail R. Peel adhesive backing cover off of rail R and place 35mm from the front and 5mm from both the right and left edge. Make sure rail R is secure. Final note, adjust both bottom feet Q up or down to prevent sagging of the Farmington fireplace. Now that you have successfully assembled your new AltraFlame electric fireplace, feel free to watch our video on how to operate all of the great features. If you have any questions, please feel free to call our customer support team.